أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Inshallah, we shall continue here with chapter 4. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam rasulullah. So chapter 4 is, if we remember, is all about awamil, or singular is amilun. Okay, these are governing words. Okay, there are 4 sections in this chapter. The first section, al-huruf al-amila, governing particles. Second section is al-af'al al-amila, governing verbs. Third section, al-asma' al-amila, governing nouns. And the last section, al-huruf al-ghayr al-amila, those words that actually do not govern. These we'll talk about when we get there. But the outlines were as follows as before. Al-huruf al-amilatun, the governing particles, or particles that govern nouns, and this we had talked about previously in the previous chapters, so therefore we really did not talk about them. But in this chapter we did talk about particles that govern fi'l al-mudari. So remember, there are only 3 types of words in Arabic, and there are particles that govern, and there are nouns that govern, there are fi'ls that govern, and usually what's governed is in fi'l and ism, right? Those are what's being governed. So we have already talked about isms, particles, nouns that govern, particles that govern nouns we talked about. And in this chapter, we talked about particles that govern fi'l al-mudari. Fi'l al-mudari, because fi'l al-madi and amr are mabniyun. Only fi'l al-mudari can be governed, and we talked about that already. And this included huruf al-nasiba, those particles that give a nasab, and we talked about already huruf al-jazima, those particles that give jazm. We already talked about this. Today we shall begin the next section, 4.2. today, and this section is about af'al al-amilata, governing verbs that govern. Okay, and this section has 8 subparts, 4.2.1, 1, 2, 4.2.3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And first is al-fa'l al-ma'ruf. This is active verb, and fi'l majhul, passive verb, al-fi'l lazim, and al-af'al al-naqisa, deficient verbs, which is my terminology, and fi'l al-muta'addi, and this whole big word, af'al al-mukharabati wal-raja'i wa-shuru, and af'al al-madhi wa-dham'i, and af'al al-ta'ajjub, which we'll talk about. So I guess those are the major topics in this section. So we shall now begin section 4.2 today, inshallah. So section 4.2, here is, begin here, and 4.2.1 is this. Okay, this section is all about al-af'al al-amila, governing verbs. Okay, so now we shall talk about 4.2.1. Okay, so the first part. The first of this governing verbs are al-fi'l al-ma'ruf, active particle, fi'l al-ma'ruf, right? Verbs whose doer is known. Okay, so when you have a fi'l al-ma'ruf, okay, then you have like jumla fi'liya, right? The jumla fi'liya, these are the essential components of jumla fi'liya here. So these are the essential components of jumla fi'liya. And fi'l al-ma'ruf, fi'l al-ma'rifatun will give certain condition to these. Okay, it will give, the file of course will be raf'un. So I'm going to write this as raf'un. So this will be raf'un. And all of these, whenever they're present, they don't have to be, these are all going to be nasbun. Okay, so all of these are going to be nasbun here. Okay, all of these are going to be nasbun over here. They're going to be like this. I'm going to write that as nasbun. It's okay. So these are going to be nasbun. Okay, and this is that's the only categories that this file is going to be raf'un, right? So that's going to be raf'un, and the مفعول به فيه له معه مفعول مطلق and حال and تمييز. These are all of these are going to be nasb, and it's going to make the file mansub. So that's how it's going to affect these terminology. So that's pretty easy to remember, right? That's the basic structure of جملة فعلية. Whenever you have فعل معرفته, the file would be رفع مفعول, حال تمييز would be نصب. Okay, that's pretty easy to remember, inshallah. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So that's the أفعال العاملة, the verbs that govern. So the first was الفعل معرفة. So the regular fi'l, like ضرب زيد, like so. And so in this case, I color coded this just so that we can appreciate it. The file would be raf'un, and maf'ul, all the different types of maf'ul, hal, and tamiz will be nasbun over here. The second type is al-fi'l al-majhul. Al-fi'l al-majhul, this is passive. This is passive verb. Verb who does. Verb who does. Verb whose whose doer is not known. This is whose doer. Verb whose doer is not known or mentioned. So his doer is not known. So this is فعل مجهول. It's also known as فعل ما لم يسمى فاعله, which means whose doer is not mentioned. فعل ما لم يسمى فاعله, who's doing the action is not known. So these sentences will be constructed as follows. So فعل مجهول begin the sentence, for example, here, and the naib file here. The naib file would be this would be, of course, raf'un. Okay. Naib file would be raf'un, and everything else here would be nasbun. Okay, so all the rest of them, the same hal and tamiz and all that stuff, will remain the same. So all of these here, okay, will remain nasbun. Okay, so the naib file is the raf'un. So that's how these go. For example, over here is given to us, and duriba zaydun. Okay, so here duriba is our fi'l majhul. Okay, so Zayd was beaten. Duriba zaydun, and notice here zaydun is raf'un. Okay, he was beaten. This is so. If Khalid had beaten him, daraba Khalidun Zaydan, it would have been. But this is, we don't know who beat him. But duriba Zaydun, Zayd was beaten. So this is raf'un. Okay, the rest of them are here example of all the maf'uls and stuff like that. So yawm al-jum'ati, this is maf'ul fihi, right? This is maf'ul fihi in the day, zaman and makan, right? This is zaman, right? In time, yawm al-jum'ati. So, and then you notice here that it is mansub over here, right? يوم الجمعة, just for mudaf mudaf construction, but that is mansub. Okay, and then أمام القاضي, okay, in front of the qadi. This is maf'ul fihi. I'm just writing maf'ul fihi, but this is I shouldn't be. This is maf'ul fihi, and this is makan, right? Maf'ul fihi zarf makan. Zarf makan. Okay. This is zarf makan, maf'ul fihi. So maf'ul fihi has remember zarf zaman and zarf makan, two types in there. Okay, so darban, that's masdar. Okay, darban shadidan. So that is maf'ul mutlaq for emphasis. Okay, this is maf'ul mutlaq for emphasis. Fi darihi. Okay, in his house. Fi darihi. Hold on for a second. Okay, I'm guessing this to me sounds like fi darihi is where, right, in his house, and this is to me sounds like also makan, right? Zarf makan to me, And ta'diban is the reason. This is maf'ul. Ta'diban here is to teach him manners. Okay, that is maf'ul lahu. Okay, that's to maf'ul lahu. That's to teach him manners. Shows you the reason. So this is my appreciation. They actually don't comment on what is what over here, but the idea being all of these are a mansub here. أمام القارئ is mansub. ضربا شديدا, that's مفعول مطلق في في داره. That's because this is fi'l changes to a kasra here. Mudaf mudaf ta'diban is also mansub, so they all remain mansub. So that's how the passive verb. In the passive verb, the naib file will be raf'un. Everything else here like that will remain a mansub. Okay, so the next category is al-fi'l al-lazim. Okay, al-fi'l al-lazim, these are intransitive verbs, verbs whose meaning can be understood without a maf'ul bihi. So these verbs do not need a maf'ul bihi. Jalasa zaydun, zayd sat. They don't need to have another anything after it. Okay, so al-fi'l al-lazim are intransitive verbs. And then the next section is 4.2.3, 4.2.4 here. Al-af'al al-nakhis, al-fi'l al-nakhis. This is kana wa akhawatuha, which we have talked about before in chapter section 1.9. So we don't talk about it additionally over here. Okay, so the next section is 4.2.5. This is al-fi'l al-muta'addi. Okay, fi'l muta'addi, these are transitive verbs. Verbs whose meaning cannot be understood without a maf'ul bihi. They must have a maf'ul bihi. Daraba zaydun. Zayd hit what? He hit bakrun. Daraba zaydun bakran. So there are four types. There are four types of fi'l muta'addi. Okay, so type 1. What's the first type of fi'l muta'addi? Maybe I'll use a different color here. Four types of fi'l muta'addi. Type 1. It's not different. Okay, so I'll do this one. Type 1. Those verbs which require one maf'ul bihi, as in the case of the most muta'addi words. Okay, this is those verbs which require one maf'ul bihi. Maf'ul bihi. They require one maf'ul bihi. Okay, as is the case with most muta'addi words. Okay, as is the case of most muta'addi words. muta'addi verbs. That's apparently the most common. They only require one. This is the example. Daraba zaydun. Okay, so this is like the daraba zaydun. Bakran. Okay, so it's like this example. I just write it. Daraba zaydun bakran. Okay, daraba zaydun. Okay, so that's the first type. Type number 2. Okay, let's see what the type number 2 is. Those verbs which can be given to maf'ul bihi. Okay, those verbs. Okay, which it says can, not must. Which can, okay, which can be given, okay, to maf'ul bihi. Okay, they don't have to, but they can be. These include the following. These include the following. Okay, these include the following. Here's, let's see, number 1. Okay, any verb which has the meaning of i'ta. Any verb which has the meaning of i'ta is give. I'ta'un. Ta'un, okay, to give. Okay, so anytime you give, you have to give something, right? Okay, So these are the word example words given here, okay? So أعطى أعطى, okay? And منح منح وهب, okay? أعطيت السائل خبزا, example here, give example sentence. أعطيت أعطيت السائل, it's السائل, أعطيت السائل, it's not العين. أعطيت السائل خبزا خبزا. I gave the beggar a bread. I gave the beggar a bread. Okay, so here's that. So now, okay, so now there are four types of fi'l muta'addi, right? So the verbs which require one maf'ul bihi, okay, which is usually the case, they say, and those verbs which can be given to maf'ul bihi, these include the following: a verb which has meaning of i'ta, okay, i'ta is to give. All of these words means to give a grant, okay, to give a grant. All of these mean that. أعطى منح وهب. أعطيت السائل خبزا. I gave the beggar bread. I gave the beggar bread. Okay, so that's that. There's four types of muta'addi. Okay, that's number 2. Okay, and then there's another some sub point here. Some other verbs which can also have two maf'ul bihi include the following. Okay, some other verbs, okay, which can have two maf'ul bihi, okay, are the following, okay? So amara kasa, okay, kasa, okay, and then sa'ala, he commanded, he asked, and kasa. Okay, so some other verbs which can have two maf'ul bihis are amara, kasa, and sala, to command. Kasa, I don't know, I think I try to look this up, like to dress or something. I hope that's what that means. And sa'ala. Okay, so that's point number 2. Let's see how much room we got over here. Point number 3 is a big one, so we'll start point number 3. So point 3 we'll do all the way over here, okay? So point number 3. Okay, point number 3. Those verbs which must be given to maf'ul bihi, okay? Those verbs which they must have, okay? Must be given, okay, to, must be given to maf'ul bihis. Okay, so some of them have to have maf'ul bihi, 2 of them. Okay, these verbs are known as af'al al-qulubi. Okay, these are interesting. Okay, they have their own name, whole category name. All right, so these verbs are known as, okay, so these verbs are known as, okay, watch this one, okay, أفعال القلوب, okay, أفعال Qulub. Af'al al-qulubi. Okay. Verbs which relate to the heart. Okay. Verbs which relate to the heart feelings. Okay, so that's af'al khulub. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so there's a table with this. They enter upon mubtada and khabar unlike the words. Oh, this is another important point. Okay, so watch this. They enter upon. Let me write this in white. Okay, they enter upon. Now it's very important. They enter upon mubtada, mubtadaun and khabar. Unlike the above. Unlike verbs above. Okay, so they enter upon mubtada and khabar. Okay, they enter upon mubtada and khabar unlike the verbs above. Okay, so there's a table here which I'm going to draw. Okay, so far I have this: ra'a, wajada, alima, za'ama. Helps to kind of see this writing, you know. Hasiba, khala, interesting, khala, and dhanna. Okay, dhanna. Okay, so now ra'a used for certainty. Which is yaqeen. Yaqeenun. Okay, so that's used for certainty. All of these are used for certainty. Okay, and these last three are used for doubt. Okay, which is shakkun. Shakkun. All of these are used for doubt. Okay, and this one is the middle one is yaqeenun or doubt. Okay, so this one is kind of like yaqeen or doubt or shakkun. Okay, shakkun. There's a shadda there like this. Okay, it's used for yaqeen or shakkun, so that's different. Okay, so okay, all of these are for yaqeen, all of these are for shak, and this one is for both. Okay, so that's important to convey the certainty. Okay, in actions. So there's some sentence examples which I'll write. Okay, so here are some examples. رأيت سعيدا ذاهبا. I saw Sa'id going. Okay, but when you say ra'a, it means you definitely saw it. Okay, so I was sure Sa'id was going. So they translate, I was sure Sa'id was going. Okay, I was sure Sa'id was going. Here, wajadtu Rashidan aliman. I was sure Rashid was knowledgeable. I was sure. There's a certain certainty. I was sure Rashid was knowledgeable. Okay, alimtu Zaida aminan. I was sure Zaid was trustworthy. In other words, alimtu Zaidan amilan means it said he was definitely trustworthy. Okay, I know Zaid was trustworthy. Okay, you can translate this as wajadtu Rashidan alima. I found Rashid to be knowledgeable. But what you're trying to convey is that this is very truly the case. I know for sure he's knowledgeable type thing. Okay, there's a certain amount of certainty in this in these statements. Okay. So on the other hand, if you say this, زعمت زيدا حاضرا, okay, this is زعمت زيدا حاضرا. Okay, زعمت زيدا حاضرا. So there's some element of I was sure Zaid was present. I thought Zaid was present. Okay, this could mean that I was sure Zaid was present, or it could mean I thought Zaid was present. Okay, it could mean either way. Okay, زعمت زيدا حاضرا. Okay, so let me write the next few. One, حسبت زيدا فاضلا. Okay, حسبت okay, Zaidan. See, they all of them require two, right? They must have two, right? As حسبت زيدا فاضلا. Okay, I thought Zaid was well educated. Okay, so there's some element of doubt there. I thought Zaid was well educated. I thought Zaid was well educated. Okay, خلت خالدا قائما. Okay, so خلت خالدا, okay, قائما. قائما. Okay, so I thought Khalid was standing. So Khalid. Okay, so Hasiba, Khala, and Zanna. Okay, so it's a Khilta Khalid Qa'iman. I thought, you can't say I was sure it was standing. Okay, I thought Khalid was standing. Okay, and Zanantu Bakr Na'iman. Okay, Zanantu. Okay, Zanantu Bakran. Okay, Na'iman. Okay, I thought Bakr was sleeping. Okay, so here we go. See, so these are all the al-af'al khulub. Okay, this is the table's name is al-af'al khulub. So this is the al-af'al khulub table. These are words that have to do with thinking, a feeling, right? So ra'a, so them have certainty in it. Some of these words connotate certainty. Some of these connotate uncertainty or doubt. Some of them could mean either one of them here, za'ama. So on all of this was ra'a, wajada, alima. Okay, and ra'a, wajada, alima, za'ama, hasiba, khala, and zanna. Okay, so this is af'al khulub. Okay, so that is those which must be given to, okay, and then the two maf'ul bihi. And then there's some notes about this. Okay, there's some note. Other verbs which also require two maf'ul bihi. There are others, okay? This is not the only one, okay? Okay, so there's a note, so we'll put this as a note. Okay? So other verbs which require two. So other verbs which require two maf'ul bihi. Okay, so there are other verbs that require, okay, so okay, sayyara, sayyara, to make something something else. Sayyara means to make something something else, something else, to change it into something else. Sayyartul awraqa kitaban. Okay, here's the example that's given here. Okay, sayyartu al-awraq sayyartu awraqa kitaban. Okay, which means I made the pages a book. I made the pages into a book. Okay, like this. Sayyartu. Ittakhaza. Here's another one. Ittakhaza. Ittakhaza. To take something, someone or something as something. Okay, right. To take someone or something, that's what that means, as someone or something. Okay, so وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. Okay, here's the example. وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ Allah took. وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. Okay, Allah took Ibrahim as a friend. Okay, so we got that one. And then ja'ala. Okay, to make something something else. Okay, to make something something else. Okay, ja'altu kitaba murattaban. جعلت الكتاب. I made the book murattaban. Murattaban. Okay, which means I made the book organized. Okay, and notice these are both maf'ul bihi, see? They're both mansub. That's why there are two maf'ul bihis. Okay. Ja'ala. Okay, so that's and then that's category number 3. Those verbs which must be given to. Okay. And then category number 4. Okay. Those verbs which require 3. Like superverbs. Three maf'ul bihis. Okay. Interesting. Each of these has the meaning of informing or showing. Okay. Each of these have the meaning of informing or showing. Okay, informing or showing, right? All right. Okay, here's an example. Oh, well, here's another table, guys. Okay, it's just table time. All right, let me start on this table. Okay, well, I'm gonna write these because it kind of helps to see the writing, the process of writing, I think. So here's ara, okay, a'lama, a'ra, أعلم أنبأ أنبأ. Okay, and نبأ نبأ. أخبر أخبر. خبر خبر. حدث حدث. Okay, so alright, so here's the table. These are all the verbs. Okay, so this is the verbs. Okay, and I'll write the example. Okay, so I wrote a few examples. أرأيت زيدا خالدا نائما. Okay, أرأيت زيدا خالدا نائما. Okay, I inform Zaid that Khalid is sleeping. I inform Zaid Khalid is sleeping. Okay, أعلمت زيدا بكرا فاضلا. I inform Zaid that Bakr is well educated. I inform Zaid that Bakr is well educated. Okay, أنبأني الرسول الأمير خادما. The messenger informed me that the chief is coming. Messenger informed me that the chief al-amiru, that the chief is coming. Okay, and then نبأتهم الكبر ممقوتا. نبأتهم الكبر. Okay, I informed them. نبأتهم الكبر. Okay, ممقوتا. I informed them that arrogance is hated. I informed them that arrogance is hated. Okay, ممقوتا. ممقوتا. Okay, ممقوتا. Okay, I shall write the next three. We almost finished here with these. Okay, أخبرت غلمان. أخبرت الغلمان أخبرت الغلمان اللعب where is that لعبة is لعبة مفيدا. Okay, and then خبرت المسافرين. القطار متأخرا. Okay, حدثت الأولاد السباحة. nafi'atan, nafi'atan, nafi'atan. Okay, what does this mean? Okay, we're gonna have to do sentences, man. أخبرت. Okay, أخبرت الغلمان اللعب مفيد. I informed the boys that sport is beneficial. I informed the boys that اللعب, sport, is beneficial. Okay, and then خبر, I informed the travelers the train is late. I informed the travelers that the train is late. Finally, I informed the children that swimming is beneficial. I informed the children that swimming is beneficial. Okay, now let's look at these. Okay, so now these are verbs which require three maf'ul bihis. Okay, three maf'ul. Araitu, okay, I informed Zaidan, Khalidan, Naiman. Zaidan, Khalidan, Naiman. Okay, Araitu, Zaidan, okay, and they all have the meaning of informing or showing. Okay, see, informing or showing. Araitu Zaidan, Khalidan, Naiman. I informed Zaid that Khalid is sleeping. أعلمت زيدا بكرا فاضلا. Okay, first you have to inform the Zaid about somebody being something, right? أعلمت زيدا بكرا فاضلا, right? أعلمت زيدا, I informed Zaid that the Bakr is well educated. Okay, the messenger informed me. أنبأني الرسول, this ni here is one of them. Rasulu. Al-Amira Khadiman is coming. So the three maf'ul bihis are the Anba'ani is one of the maf'ul bihi. Al-Rasulu is actually the file. Anba'ani Rasulu, Al-Amira Khadiman. The Amir is coming. Okay, that's this. Okay, Nabba'tuhum, I informed them that arrogance is hated. Nabba'tuhum, so whom is one of them. Al-Kibra is the second. Mamqutan, that's an interesting word to know, right? Mamqutan, hated. Mamqutan. Okay, anyways, Mamqutan. Akhbartu ghilmana, I informed the boys. Al-la'ba, I informed the boys that the sport is mufidan. Okay, all right, and then khabartu, I informed al-musafirina. This is also nasab. Khabartu musafirina, that the train, okay, which is the khitar. Okay, this is khitar is train. Khitarun, train. Right. So al-khitaru mutaakhiran, it is late. Okay. Khabartu musafirina al-khitara, so musafirina khitara mutaakhiran. So that's three. Haddastu, I informed. Haddastu awlada, the children. I informed the children. As-sabbahata, swimming. Sabbahata nafi'atan, is beneficial. So you can see all of these have three maf'ulun bihis, three maf'ulun bihis. Okay, and they all come in the meaning of informing or showing. Okay, so and that concludes this section, and I'll just review what we talked about and then we'll finish. Okay, this is section 4.2, and 4.2 is about governing. This is about governing verbs. So it's about governing verbs. أفعال العاملة. And then we said فعل معرف, فعل معرف, فعل المعروف. And then in this, the sentences are structured as فعل, فاعل, مفعول, and حال and تمييز. فاعل will be رفع, the rest of them will be mansub. And then we talk about all the verbs that act as aamil. So, and then فعل مجهول, which is passive verbs that the doer is not known. Okay, that the doer is not known or mentioned. And then this also is فعل ما لم يسمى فاعله, and here's fail, and we have a naib file which will be rafun, everything else will be nasbun. Okay, we talked about that. And then we talked about al-fi'l lazim, intransitive verbs, verbs which may be which can be understood without a maf'ul bihi. And then af'al naqisa, this is kana wa akhwatuha, which was studied before. And then fi'l muta'addi is a transitive verbs. These are verbs whose meaning cannot be understood without a maf'ul bihi. And the muta'addi words, there are 4 types. Okay, the 4 types of fi'l muta'addi, those verbs which require one maf'ul bihi, they require only one maf'ul bihi, and those which can require 2 maf'ul bihi, can be given 2 maf'ul bihi. All right, and category number 3 was those verbs which must be given 2 maf'ul bihi. And then finally, 4th category was those verbs which requires 3 maf'ul bihi, and these all come in the meaning of informing or showing. So this was this section, alhamdulillah. Next time we shall go on to the next section then. Okay, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.